Hello, my friends. It's 10-minute Tuesday time. I'd love to share with you my favorite idea from the last 6 months. And the reason it's my favorite idea is because of how powerfully it works. Don't you love ideas that actually change your life? We hear all kinds of interesting things every day. We live in an information age. Uh, but when one idea gets inside you and transforms you, it's breathtaking, the power of the power that idea has. So, excuse me, I was sharing this idea with my wife in the car, driving to Campbelltown on the weekend, and really excited about it. I'm just like, I've really stumbled across something that's just so cool, and I think this is probably one of my best ever ideas. And I'm explaining that, you might have heard me talk about the fact that there are two problem-solving questions that I love to use. Question one, what problem are you most looking to solve right now? Question two, are you sure that's the problem? She says, yeah, I've heard you use those before. I said, well, watch this. Goes another step further, because it's hard to know that you're actually solving the right problem. It's easy to deceive yourself. It's easy to think, yeah, I'm across it. Yep, I have accurately understood the problem. So let's get to solving it. But there's a really cool test that proves whether or not you've accurately understood the problem. And the proof is this: if the problem feels to you overwhelming, if it feels like you can't do anything other than really manage it, and you're anxious about it, you're not really quite sure how to get your teeth into it, then that is very clean evidence and feedback that you haven't accurately understood the problem. You will know that you've accurately understood the problem when you feel like you have the power to fix it and the solution is clear. So that's a really powerful test that you can use on any problem. And Catherine says, oh, okay, so like, I think I understand. So she says, so, when you've been really overwhelmed about your business stuff this week, that just means you haven't actually understood the problem. I'm like, yeah. No, wait, no. This is not not about my stuff. This is what I use with clients. I'm like, yeah, wait, you're right. And you love when your wife does that. But you do love when your wife does that, because if I was thinking about my problem without accurate understanding, then all I can do is be overwhelmed about it, is manage it, is just procrastinate about it because I haven't accurately understood it. And so I took that metric to my own problem about being overwhelmed in my business and got clear about understanding what the problem really was. So it felt like a problem with sales. It felt like a problem that I was attracting the wrong clients. It felt like a problem of having too much admin to do. But when I got clear and turned all the lights on, I discovered it was simply a pitching problem. I was speaking the wrong message to the wrong people in the wrong way. So it wasn't the market's fault. They were just responding to the message that I was putting out there. So it helped me get laser sharp around the fact that this is me. I'm the one pitching, and you always get what you pitch for. So that's great. The moment I understand the problem like that, I have full capacity to fix it because I'm the one who created it in the first place. So I refined my pitch. I got clear about the people who most benefit from my work, where I do my best work. And they are always business owners. They're people with a business plan, with a marketing plan. They're running systems. And that's all really, really good. They put a lot of effort and energy into that, yet they're still not making breakthrough, simply because they haven't dealt with their inner world. And now that's the thing limiting them. So insecurity is showing up and costing business owners and entrepreneurs and leaders massively in the area they're trying to do their best work. And so I refined my pitch and got clear about that, and that solves the problem in my business. So the metric again, if you think about the problem you're facing, and when you go to that problem, you feel overwhelmed, uncertain, unsure, and anxious about it, that is clean feedback to you. It might not feel like that's true. It might feel like that's impossible. This is what the problem is. Yeah, I've accurately understood the problem. Yeah, it's outside of my control. There's nothing I can do. So sure, that's the problem. That's not the problem. I promise you it's not the problem. Here, two quick examples from some clients that I've been working with, without giving away too much information. Both was an issue of sadness. So the first one, and both involve family. So the first one, I'm just really sad about what's happening with my brother. Okay, cool. So what's the problem? Well, I'm sad that I'm losing connection. Connection is not the way that it used to be. I'm just really sad about that. And anyone would be sad about losing connection like that. Sure, perhaps, but what's the problem? Well, the problem is my brother doesn't want the same thing that I want. That's the problem. I can't fix that. No, that's not the problem. That can't be the problem because you feel overwhelmed about it. It's outside of your control. Okay, so what's the problem? The problem is how you feel about that, the implications of your brother not wanting connection. Anyway, we continue on the coaching conversation and explore the fact that there are some internal rules around how to be a good person. A good person has close connection with family. So the real problem is this person was not living by their own standards. They couldn't have connection with their brother, which in turn made them not sleep at night and feel like if they were a better brother, they would be able to fix this problem. Now, that's an interesting standard to set. That's an interesting rule. It works well when everyone else wants to play that same game. But if they don't want to play the game, that rule is going to get you into a lot of trouble. So the problem was simply the rule. Now, who set the rule? Well, this guy did. It was his rule. He decided that's what a good person does, not anyone else. So if he decided that, he could change it. So you get that the moment you feel, you get clarity around what the real problem is, instantly you go, well, then I have the power to solve it. That's the metric. That lets you know. The other client, sadness again with family. So just exploring the past and the challenges of growing up in a family that didn't have a lot of love and a lot of support, and comparing herself with other families that did. And so this sense of sadness of what she missed out on, this sense of sadness that my parents just really weren't there for me. They really didn't bring a lot of care and support to my world growing up. And that's sad. I've lost something that I can never get back. And I've lost something that's impacted me. That's what the problem is. No, that's not what the problem is. And how do you know it's not the problem? Well, because you feel overwhelmed. You feel anxious. You feel upset. You feel like it is what it is. You can't control that. Great, clean feedback that you haven't understood the problem. What's actually the problem here? It's always internal, always something you can control, always something about you. We chunk down, we explore the origins, we explore the reality by turning all the lights on. She discovers that the real problem is that when her parents didn't give her the care and the love that she felt she deserved or she wanted or that her friends were getting, she decided the reason was because she didn't deserve it. She wasn't good enough. That was her fault. She blamed herself. She made it personal. Confronting, but powerful, because the moment she got clear that that's actually the problem, then she realizes it's not outside of her control at all. It's not an issue of her past. It's not an issue to do with her parents. It's an issue to do with her own sense-making paradigm, her own storytelling, the meaning she has placed on that pain growing up. She decided that it meant she was no good. That's what the sadness is. So it's an issue of her own opinion of her own childhood. So that means she can change her own opinion because it's no one else's opinion. So the metric again, if the problem feels overwhelming, you haven't understood the problem. I promise you haven't understood the problem. I know you'll think you've understood it. I know you'll think that's as clear as you can possibly get. But you'll know when you've accurately understood the problem by asking questions, are you sure that's the problem? You'll know you've accurately understood it when it feels like you have control, when it feels like the solution is simple, when it feels like there is nothing in the way between you actually solving that problem. Then you know you've accurately understood the problem. And that's an exciting day. That's a breathtakingly exciting day. So you might think, the problem was I was abused. No, that is not the problem. That cannot be the problem. The problem is I don't like my job. Try again. That's not the problem. You can't change that. You can't control that. Yeah, that's your job. That's what's happening to you. You're overwhelmed about that. It's the implications of not liking your job. What's the problem? The problem is you don't feel like you could do anything else. That's the problem. Your own opinion of your capacity to do meaningful work. That's the problem. That's not your job's fault. Your business isn't profitable. That's the problem. Yep. Done the numbers, it's not profitable. That's not the problem. That can't be the problem. Because every time you think about it on that level, you get overwhelmed. You don't know what to do to fix it. You can't see clearly enough. Business is a system. There's only so many moving parts. If you were to get clear about the exact nature of the problem, you would see the exact part of the problem, the exact part of the system that's not working, that's broken down. There'll be no judgment that you're a failure or a bad person, it will be clear exactly what the problem is. And you'll know when you've accurately understood it, when you have full capacity to change it. It's a fun metric. I challenge you to try it on any one of your problems right now, any one of the things that you think is outside of your control that you can do nothing with. Because obviously, the moment you arrive at a place of overwhelm in your problem solving, you get stuck, and all you can do is manage the problem. You cannot solve it if you are overwhelmed about it. It is impossible to solve on that level. You have no control over it. And the proof is, and the beautiful thing is that's not actually the problem. Never, ever, ever is it the problem. The problem is always inside you, and it's always something you created in the first place, which means that you can fix it. I hope that's useful. I'd love you to push back. I'd love you to send in a problem that can't be your problem, a problem that you can only be overwhelmed about it, a problem that you have accurately understood and you still feel overwhelmed. Please find one. Please test me. Please find a hole in this theory. I would love that. That would be a great joy if you could do that for me this week. Otherwise, test it out. See what it opens up for you. See where it puts power back in your hands. Enjoy your week, and I'll talk to you again next Tuesday.